Hey guys, what's up? It's Monkazunky. Welcome to a new video. So we're going to be going over a top 10 today, and this was a really good suggestion by MatsRS, who suggested that I did a video on the most useful achievement diary rewards, also known as the achievement tasks or the task sets. The name has been changed several times, so I'm not completely sure what they're called now, but those things that you do and then you get item rewards that allow you a bunch of different benefits and you get XP lamps. You all know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to be going over what I personally consider to be the 10 best, and there are 12 achievement diaries, 10 legit ones, and then there's the Lumbridge and the Birth Orb, which aren't really legit because they're short, they have almost no requirements, and they don't give very good rewards. But the other 10 achievement diaries, which is perfect for a top 10 video, give really good rewards, and all of them are useful in their own right, but this is just one man's opinion, of course, so make sure to comment below what your personal favorite achievement diary is, but this is my list of the 10 that I believe people get the most use out of. And with that being said, let's get into the list. Number 10 on the list is the Karamja gloves, and unfortunately the Karamja gloves are not terribly useful in the modern RuneScape. They still have a few uses, and you should still probably get them eventually, if not just for the experience lamps that you get for completing the task set. But the main uses for the Karamja gloves is they teleport you to Shiloh Village, which is handy because there's not very many other good ways to get to Shiloh Village, so they're good for that. The only problem is there isn't a whole lot of reasons why you would need to go to Shiloh Village. You also get additional points from using the Shiloh Village Slayer Master, and who that is depends on whether you've completed Wall Gothic Sleeps or not. A few other uses is it does allow you entrance into the Brimhaven dungeon for free. It will also allow you a very handy shortcut through the Brimhaven dungeon. You cannot go through the shortcut without the elite gloves, however, so you do need the level 4 gloves. Also, you can get 8,000 Tarkol a day from one of the dudes in the Tazar city by the main plaza. You just talk to him and he gives you 8,000 a day. Kind of handy if you need Tarkol for anything. And last but not least, you can revive once during a fight cave, which is the one with Jad at the end. It's not the fight kiln, unfortunately. For once a day for free. So if you die, you get one free mess up, but you do have to have the elite gloves for that as well. So if you still use Curdel as your Slayer Master, you like doing those Jad tasks in case you mess up with the prayer switch, you get one free revive. Unfortunately, that's all the main benefits that it gives. There's a few other small things, like you get some free pineapples and cooking apples a day. Not that great, so unfortunately these gloves aren't terribly useful, but you should still go for them eventually. Just prioritize some of the other task rewards first. Number 9 on the list is the Falador shield. So the Falador shield, like the Karamja gloves, doesn't have a whole lot of uses. It does have one very, very good use and one fairly good use. So the fairly good use is when you are harvesting herbs or allotments at the patch south of Falador, the patch that I'm at right now on the screen. If you have the Falador Shield 3, then you will gain 10% bonus farming XP from harvesting stuff in this area. So unfortunately this does not work on the Falador tree patch. It would be a lot more useful if it did. It's just for this allotment patch here. So that's unfortunate. It's not a huge benefit of farming XP, but it does add up over time. The second and far more useful benefit is you gain 5% bonus experience and respect points in the Artisan's Workshop when you have the Elite Falador Shield equipped. It only works with the Elite. You can also get a Prayer Restore from the Falador Shield, but that's whatever. It's not really that important. So probably the best thing is if you don't have 99 smithing yet, or if you want to go for 120 smithing, or even, God forbid, 200 mil smithing at Artisan's Workshop. That sounds very expensive. But if you do it, make sure you have a Falador Shield 4, so you can get extra XP and extra respect as well if you're going for the Trim Completionist Cape requirement. And the Falador Shield will help you out quite a bit with that. Finally, we get into a piece of equipment that's probably a lot more useful and you will use significantly more often than you will the previous two. So this is the Varrock armor, and it's very nice for mining. So what the Varrock armor does is it gives you a chance to mine double ores while mining. The amount of ores that work with this depends on how many of the Varrock tasks that you have completed. When you have the elite tasks done, it works with pretty much every ore in the game, and it works with only lower level ores when you've completed less tasks. And how this works is it depends on the type of ore, what the chance is, but it's around a 10% chance to mine double ores for most ores, and this will increase if you completed the new Varrock task from the Dimension of Disaster as well. On top of that, you can buy battle staffs. How many battle staffs you can buy every day in the battle staff shop in Varrock depends on how many of the tasks you've completed, but it's up to 80. You also have a chance of smithing items faster when wearing the Varrock armor, and this increases if you have completed the new Varrock tasks again. And you also have a chance of smithing 2 bars at once in the Edgeville furnace, and if you've completed the new Varrock task in Dimension Disaster, that increases to almost every single furnace in the game. You have a chance of smelting double bars. So some fairly handy stuff for mining and smithing. So if you're working on those two skills, it's worth it to do Varrock tasks and upgrade your Varrock armor. Number 7 on the list is the Fremennik tasks. So the Fremennik tasks are only useful for one specific thing, but that thing is so good if you have the boots that you just have to get the boots. So how these work is, initially let's go over some of the less useful things, but some benefits that you do get from the Fremennik boost. First of all, if you do Kingdom of Miscellanea, which everyone should do, by the way, because you make money with it, and it takes almost no effort, so there's no reason not to do it, you get to help out your approval rating much quicker with the boots. You get about 3 to 4% approval just from cutting a maple log, so it makes capping your approval incredibly fast. You also get some stuff like the ability to change where your lyre teleport goes, the ability to charge your lyre with more charges, and stuff like that. But the main reason why you would get Fremennik boots is for Daemonheim Kings. When using abilities, you gain 5% more damage versus the DKs with the boots equipped, which is awesome. And if you're using Legacy for some reason at Daemonheim Kings, it's 10% more damage, so that can make Legacy a viable option here, although you'd probably not be able to last that long in Legacy because these guys hit hard. And it also makes the Daemonheim bones noted after you kill the DKs. So if you don't have a yak, these Fremennik boots, although you do have to have the elite task complete for that, make DKs much easier to pick up and bank all of those bones. Next up is the Morytania legs, and these legs have a lot of benefits in Morytania. First of all, one of the main benefits is you get double runes from Barrows, and the amount of prayer that Barrows drains from you is halved. So that makes Barrows a lot better. Unfortunately, Barrows is now more of a low-level activity, but for people who do it, for those double runes, are much better. You also have the ability to get planks daily from talking to Razmire, who is the dude in the Morytania village. You also get additional Slayer XP. Unfortunately, you do have to have the elite legs for this, but if you have the elite legs equipped, you get 10% more Slayer XP within the Morytania Slayer Tower while on task, which is awesome, so you should always wear that for your Abbey Demon, Gargoyle, and Necreal tasks. Some other things that it gives is 10% more rewards from temple trekking and double Morchella mushrooms when you're harvesting those from the mushroom patch, and the Morchellas cannot get disease, so you don't need to use super compost and they'll never die. One final thing is you get about 10% additional blood runes when crafting them at the blood altar when you have the Morytania legs equipped. So if you're planning on crafting blood runes, then you definitely want to have those equipped as well. So a whole lot of bonuses that work within the Morytania, and they're all very useful. None of them really stand out other than the Slayer XP bonus, but these are definitely a worthy pair of legs to obtain. Next up is the Tirannwn Quiver, and you get this from completing all of the Elven Lands tasks, and it does gain some pretty awesome rewards, but it also has the highest requirement out of any task set. You have to be fairly close to maxed in order to complete the elite rewards, so yikes, a lot of requirements, but they do give some pretty awesome rewards as well. So you can claim some logs every single day from the tree dude who sells saplings in the Elven City. You have an additional mushroom patch that you can access. It's right by the lodestone as well, which is awesome. Unfortunately, it doesn't give double Morchellas, but you can gain an additional 9 per day from it if you'd like. You gain a 5% damage buff against Mourners. If you've completed Plague's End, it's against Knights of Ardougne. And you can also have 5% damage buff against Shadow Creatures, Elves, and Dark Beasts as well with the Elite Quiver obtained. You also have faster use of Cleansing Crystals if you want to use those to train your prayer. That's how I personally got to 120 prayer. It was awesome. It was very AFK, and the Quiver helps out a little bit with that. You get more Harmony Moss per harvest. You get a bunch of awesome teleports around the Elven Lands to all the main attractions you can teleport with your Quiver, and you will unlock more and more teleports as you level up the Quiver as well. And one of the main things that is really cool about the Quiver is Grenwalls no longer need baiting. So a lot of people like to train their hunter on Grenwalls using quota tickets, and you definitely want to get the Quiver level 2 if you're going to do that, because then you don't need any bait for the Grenwalls. It saves so much time and so much effort. And a couple final things is if you swap in your pouches for shards at Lord Amlod, he will give you 10% more shards than the dude at the Ogre City. So you'll gain back a little bit of an additional money. If you're training your summoning, that's probably where you want to swap your pouches in. And you can also buy some battle staffs from Lunette in the Elf City, who is the chick right by the altar where you can switch your prayers and curses. So, wow, that was a lot of stuff, and hopefully I covered all of the main things, but a lot of really cool uses from this Tirannwn quiver. Oh yeah, and you can store ammo in as well, if that wasn't already given from the fact that it's a quiver. So one type of arrows or bolts you can store in there, and that can save you the ability for forgetting your bolts, which happens to a lot of people. Anyway, that's all for the Tirannwn quiver. It's good, it has a ton of requirements to get it, but when you have those requirements, go for it, and it's worth your time. Number 4 on the list is the Artie Cloak, and the reason why this one is so high is because it's what I like to call an essential item, an item that you really need to get before you start trading a specific thing, and that is thieving. So what the Artie Cloak does at level 3 and level 4 is it reduces your chance of getting caught while pickpocketing. So if you're stealing from dwarf traders or elves or any type of thieving action where you're stealing from dudes, then you really need to get yourself an Artie Cloak because it reduces your chance of getting caught quite a bit, which is awesome. It also has some other benefits. One small thing is that you can kill creatures in the Tower of Life, and almost all of the Tower of Life drops are now noted. And this will progressively note more and more drops as you level up your cloak and you get to the elite, and pretty much everything in the Tower of Life is noted, which is awesome. Maybe not so much for main accounts, but for Iron Men or accounts that are trying to be self-sufficient or maybe make a bit of money, this can be a really great thing. Some other things is that you can teleport to the Conjurin Monastery as well as the Artie allotment patch, and you can teleport once per day to the allotment patch with the Cloak 3 and in limited times with the Cloak 4. So this is almost an essential item for doing your farming runs as well, because you'll use it so much and it saves a ton of time instead of having to teleport to that Artie lodestone. The Monastery teleport is nice for restoring a bit of prayer. Some additional things that boost the rewards from the fishing trawler, which is you can talk to Wizard Property within the city of Artie for 150 pure essence a day, which is You can also talk to Bert as long as you've completed the Hand in the Sand quest for 120 buckets of sand a day, which is also kind of but those are two things that you can do for a small bit of extra profit per day if you choose to do them. Number 3 on the list is the Daemonheim Aura, and this aura is great for another reason. It's an essential item for training your dungeoneering. So of course there's requirements based around this, and to get the full benefits of the aura, to get the level 2 Gatestone, you do need to have the requirements for the elite, which is unfortunate. But along the way, you will also gain the ability to get Law Runes and Cosmic Runes every single dungeon you enter, so you no longer have to spend any time runecrafting at the start of dungeons. I cannot stress to you how awesome this is, and how much time it saves, and it's just great. I love the ability to do that. And of course, probably the most famous thing is you can create an additional Gatestone. So you can create your Gatestone with Cosmic Runes, and you can create your Gatestone which is attached to the aura as well. The aura, when activated, will act as a Bone Crusher and Demon Horn Necklace, so it will restore your prayer if you kill stuff that drops bones within Daemonheim while it's active, so it lasts for an hour. That's kind of cool, and you also have the ability to die once per day, and it will not cost you. You can die completely penalty free, so it won't reduce any XP. Finally, another awesome thing is once per day you can choose which boss that you want to face when starting a floor, as long as you're the host of the floor. So that's a cool thing that the aura provides as well. Just a bunch of stuff, and altogether it's awesome for dungeoneering. Number 2 on the list is the Desert Amulet. So the Desert Amulet has a lot of really cool small benefits that it provides, but there's one big benefit that it provides that is so awesome. I'll get into that later though. So first of all, let's go over the smaller stuff. You can teleport to Narda with the Desert Amulet, which is awesome because there's not a whole lot of teleports within the desert, so it's nice to have one that's unlimited as much as you want. You can talk to the Odd Old Man by the Calphite Hive, and he will give you Potato Cactus. How much he gives you depends on what level of the task that you've completed. If you've completed the elite tasks, you can mine an additional 25 red sandstone a day, close to the Pyramid Plunder Pyramid. You just want to go outside the gates of Sophanem, and it's right there. So that's awesome for people that make potion flasks every day, a little bit of extra profit. You can also get double cactus spines in Al Kharid. That's another small amount of extra profit. And one very underrated and awesome thing is it provides double charges on your Pharaoh's Scepter. So when fully charged, it goes to 6 charges instead of 3. It also provides double charges on the Scepter of the Gods as well. So the thing that the Desert Amulet does so well is it makes the Karis insane. So this works against all types of Kalphites, including the Kalphite King and the Kalphite Queen, and it makes the Karis just hit like a truck. And it isn't the best melee weapon by far if you have the Desert Amulet 3 or 4. The Desert Amulet 4 will provide some additional accuracy to the Karis and have a higher chance of hitting insanely high with a critical hit. So this Karis becomes your go-to weapon when fighting Kalphites, including the KK and the KQ, when you have the Desert Amulet. So if you like either of these two bosses, KK is probably by far the more beneficial one to fight, but you might go for the pet as a KQ as well, then you want to pick yourself up a Desert Amulet because it will increase your kill speed and the damage that you can do so much. So this is an awesome reason to pick up the Desert Amulet, and the reason why I hold it in such high regard as well. Number 1 on the list is, of course, Seers Village. What else could it be? Well, it really had to be Seers Village because I wasn't going to put the Lumbridge Draenor Ring as number 1, would I? Of course not. We wouldn't be doing that. So, what is so good about the Seers Village? Well, first of all, you can claim 200 flax a day, but that's not the reason why it's number 1, of course. You can also spin bowstrings significantly faster at the Seers Village spinning wheel. That makes this so great, doesn't it? Another thing that you can do is you can automatically bank 200 coal a day at the coal truck, so that's handy. And the Seers Headband works as a light source. You don't even have to have it equipped. You can just have it in your inventory, and there you go. No need for lanterns anymore. This is all sounding so great so far, isn't it? No, but the main reason why you want to get the Seers Village task done is for the Enhanced Excalibur. This item will go with you everywhere you go, and that's why this item is so good. Is it the most powerful item in the game? No, by all means, probably the Karis is cooler, but the Enhanced Excalibur, in terms of overall usefulness, anywhere you go where you're either in combat or taking damage of some form, so even for things like thieving, you're going to have the Enhanced Excalibur with you. It heals you 200 HP with the level 3 task done and 400 with level 4 every 5 minutes, or you can relog and then use it again instantly over the course of 30 seconds. So it's free healing everywhere. It also boosts your defense, and you can use it in combat, which just makes it amazing. And it doesn't lower your adrenaline to use it either. So you're going to be using this Enhanced Excalibur all the time for PvM, Slayer, thieving, general combat training. It's incredibly handy, and I love this thing to death, man, and that's why it went for my number 1 spot. Okay, so we're finally done with the video. I apologize, it was so freaking long. I think this is the longest top 10 video so far, but there's just a lot to say about achievement diaries, and man, I get excited about achievements. I think they're cool, a really awesome piece of content, and hopefully I'll be working towards some of these on my Iron Man, but I'm finally done with them. So make sure to leave in the comment section your suggestion for the next top 10 video, and I will choose from one of your lovely comments what that will be, and I will be looking forward to your guys' bright ideas with that. But that's about all for me. One thing I also had to say is on my gaming channel, my secondary channel, I am going to be starting a vlog series where I'm going to be doing some workouts for the purposes of playing basketball better. So if you're interested in either working out or basketball, or if you're just one of those guys who wants to see what I look like, make sure to check that out as well. Link is going to be on the screen in the outro, and it's also in the description of the video and linked on my channel page. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day, and farewell.